Now, nothing could be more quintessentially English than being surrounded by green and rolling countryside on a hot summer's day with a picnic and a glass of gin and tonic to hand. The drink is simple and refreshing and, many of us swear, good for us. Back in the 16th century, it was used as a medicine for kidney problems. But is this revered English pick-me-up now under threat? Stocks of juniper berries used to give gin its distinctive flavour are disappearing because of a new disease. With me are Fairfax Hall, co-founder of Sipsmith Gin Distillery here in London, and Tim Wilkins, species recovery coordinator with the organisation Plantlife. Let's keep the music going. Let's have a drink, Fairfax and Tim. And as we just discuss what I hope is not too serious a problem, but cheers, gentlemen. What are we talking about, Tim?
Well, this disease was first discovered in England 2 years ago. And at the moment, we've only got 15 cases of it in the wild, but there is the potential for it to spread.
So the juniper berries are being attacked by what?
Well, it's the whole plant that's being attacked. The berries themselves, English berries, I think I'm right in saying, aren't actually used in gin production at the moment. Most of the berries come from overseas. But we're really worried about juniper for its own sort of importance in terms of conservation.
How important, Fairfax, are juniper berries in the production? I mean, how much are used? And is it the flavour of gin which comes from juniper?
Well, without juniper, you can't have gin. So under EU law, gin has to be predominantly flavoured with juniper, otherwise it's simply not gin. The question of how important it is to us for British juniper berries is, well, a moot one in one sense, in that, unfortunately, in Britain, it's not actually hot enough to get the oils which are in the juniper berries that we use, and it's the oils in the berries that flavour the gin. So ours come from Eastern Europe and other big manufacturers.
But juniper is grown here, is it?
It is indeed, yeah.
But not used by any distillery
as far as I know.
You're aware.
When we started our business 4 years ago, we were the first distillery in London for 200 years, and we wanted a real London story. So we thought, what's more London than Kew Gardens? So, with permission, I might add, we went and picked some juniper berries from Kew, and we tried to use them, but there just wasn't enough oil actually in the berry. So we ended up going for much fatter berries from Eastern Europe, and that's the oil that creates the gin flavour.
And Tim, this is a fungus, is it? And
yep.
If you can just pronounce the name for me, because I find it very difficult.
It's called Phytophthora ostracedri. It's a fungus-like organism, and it spreads through these microscopic spores called zoospores. And we think that the main sort of ways of it getting around are through watercourses, rivers and streams, but equally it could just, from rain, it could splash onto adjacent plants. So there is a real risk of it spreading.
So 15 cases worldwide. Where are they? I mean, are they close to Macedonia? Do most gin distilleries, I mean, is that its main industry, juniper berries?
Well, Eastern Europe produces a lot of the juniper berries. A lot comes from Tuscany as well. India produces big, huge, fat, very juicy, oily juniper berries. And I dare say there's probably quite a lot in the Philippines, so that's the leading gin nation of the world in terms of consumption. But I certainly haven't heard of many issues that we've been made aware of from our local suppliers.
We think of gin being quintessentially English. Is it?
Well, it was certainly born in England, gin as we know it. I mean, originally a juniper spirit came from Holland, and it was brought over the taste by the reigning monarch, William of Orange, in the late 17th century. But it originated in London as the gin that we know it, and it's now spread out across the world. Philippines is actually the biggest gin-consuming nation in the world, followed by America, then Spain, and then the UK. So we're lagging. We're fourth in the stakes.
All right, and we need our temperatures to improve a bit. Tim, just looking at other diseases that are affecting plants like this, I think there's sort of 95 I was reading worldwide. I mean, how difficult is it to contain something like this affecting juniper berries and indeed ash dieback and other tree diseases?
Well, it depends on the way that, the particular disease in question. Some diseases spread through the air, ash dieback being a good example. It's only been known for a fairly short time, and yet we've got over 500 cases of it reported in Britain now. Whereas, as I said earlier, for this Phytophthora, we know it's only present at 15 sites at the moment.
And what's the remedy? I mean, what do? Do you destroy all the infected trees and kill it that way?
Well, there's three key things that need to be done. Firstly, we need to research. We need to understand more about this disease. It's only been known to science for 6 years. Secondly, we need to think about conserving juniper where it occurs in the countryside and really trying to get the populations to thrive again. And I think, finally, we need to try to understand more about the ecology of juniper, and I think that'll help.
And I'm just thinking, I used to work in Spain many years ago, and I remember phylloxera used for the, and phylloxera devastated Spanish vines. Are you worried, Fairfax, that, I mean, this could threaten your business, couldn't it? I mean, I don't want to be too alarmist about it.
Well, it depends, I suppose it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, are we worried at Sipsmith that it's going to destroy our no, is the answer. I mean, we produce in such small batches that what a mid-tier commercial gin producer would do in a morning is...
How many tonnes do you need then?
Well, per
100,000 litres?
Our annual use of juniper is probably about 300 kilos.
Right.
You know, that's the same, as I say, a mid-tier one would do in a morning. So, you know, we could, if we were genuinely worried, go out and buy a few tonnes, cold store them, and we'd be good for 10 years. So, you know, I guess...
Are you going to be doing that or not?
Well, it depends what turns out to say. You know, I think we'll probably be all right.
All right. Well, look, bottoms up. Thank you very much
Thank you very much.
coming in. Very nice to see you, and let's hope we can drink gin for a long time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.